very briefly for me, just hello, warm welcome to everyone on behalf of the Catalyst Mental Health Collaboration co-chairs, welcoming everyone. We've got a very exciting session, important session today, focused on carers. Just a few housekeeping things for me before we get started. If you're able to, please do keep your camera on. That would be helpful to our speakers during the session. If you have a question, please do pop them into the chat and we will get to them later on in the session. There's also live caption that you can turn on at the bottom of your screen if that would help you. But I'm going to hand over to my co-chair, Chris, who will introduce our speakers today. So over to you, Chris.
Thank you so much, Arla, and a warm welcome from me to all of you. We have a great turnout today, and we're still admitting people, so that's good news. Today we welcome Sarah Jeffrey, who's the Head of Health for Vital Foundation. Very welcome to her, very much welcome to her. Michelle Gokolas, who is the Comms and Supporter Engagement Manager for Carers Worldwide. Jagannath Mishra, welcome to you, sir. You're the Secretary of ECTA, and we very much look forward to hearing from you. And we have Ruth and Anil Patil. Ruth is the Development Director and founder alongside Anil Patil of Carers Worldwide. Of course, Anil is our Chief Executive. And I actually have a role to play in all of this as well, because I'm the ambassador to this organization. And feel very privileged in that capacity. I was at one point the founding chair, and so it's a great pleasure to be able to welcome old friends and colleagues to the mental health collaboration. Without further ado, and in the spirit of getting the actual webinar going, let me pass over to you, Anil. Welcome.
Thank you, Chris, and hello, everyone. Good to see so many familiar faces. It is lovely to see, and thank you so much for being here today. We are really grateful to Arla and Susan for hosting this webinar today. And so before I jump in, let us start with a quick activity. On your screen, you will see a word cloud. The question is simple. So what comes to your mind when you hear a word unpaid carer? Just type in the first word or a phrase that comes to your mind. Don't overthink it. Just whatever comes to your mind, just type it.
So you can use the QR code to start typing, or go on to Menti and use the code.
Great. I can see words like family, love, invisible, hard, under acknowledged, pressure, exhaustion, excluded, mother, stretched, indispensable. There are some messages coming in the chat as well, isolated and vulnerable. Frontline resource, loneliness, dedicated person, all these words are so powerful. So Thank you so much, because in just a few words, all of you have summed up exactly what we are here to talk about. Unpaid carers are the family members who quietly, day after day, hold families and communities together. And yet, their needs are so often under-acknowledged, are overlooked, and not at all recognized. So we are here at the Carers Worldwide. Just I want to give a little bit of background to Carers Worldwide, those who don't know us. Uh, Carers Worldwide is a small international organization. Uh, we work in India, Nepal, and Bangladesh with one mission to transform the lives of carers and their families through support model by empowering local partners to advocate for system change. As I said, carers are mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, husbands, and wives. These are all ordinary people doing extraordinary things, care for their loved ones with disability, mental illness, or chronic illnesses. So what is it we do actually? Our work focuses on 5 main areas. One, to reduce loneliness and isolation, bringing carers together. We promote carers peer support group, that is giving them a hope and making caring visible, as well as connecting with other carers in similar situation. Second, helping carers to protect their own health and well-being through our health services. And the third one is many carers have expressed and experiencing the financial difficulties, supporting carers to earn an income without giving up their caring role. Alongside the caring role they can do. And fourth one is, since they became a carer, they never had a time off or a short break or a respite care. Through community caring centers, how carers can have little bit of breathing space for themselves so that they have a time to attend social events and do household chores or go to market. And finally, um, making sure government and not-for-profit charities, NGOs, and the community sees carers and hear carers and include carers, health and social support, clearly giving a voice to the carers, promoting the platform for carers to advocate for their rights and recognition. And the big question is, why do we do it? As you have shared in the word cloud, because carers are invisible glue of our society, they are essential, but too often they are invisible and their role is not being acknowledged or appreciated. Without them, our health system will collapse. Yet, carers themselves are left vulnerable, isolated, and unsupported. So in next 40 minutes or 40 minutes, we'll start with an interactive session, and I'll be asking a series of questions, and Jagannathji will share his experiences. Then you will hear from one of our funders in conversation with Ruth, exploring what inspired them to support our work. And my colleague Michelle will then share a short video featuring Roxana. She's a carer and a barefoot counselor, which really brings to life. And finally, we'll open things up for question and answer session. So once again, thank you so much, and let's get started. I'm really delighted to welcome Jagannath Mishra from Ekta, our long-standing partner in India. Ekta has been doing a pioneering work to recognize and support family carers, especially around their mental health and well-being. Jagannath ji, would love to hear from you about what you have seen on the ground and what lessons we can take away. So my first question is, how does caring for someone with mental illness affect carers' own mental health and well-being?
Thank you, Anil ji. Thank you. First of all, thank you for giving me a great opportunity to share a few words about carers. Thank you. Actually, caring for a family members with mental illness often place a heavy emotional and physical burden on carers. And from our many experiences, anxiety, stress, social isolation, financial strain, and depression, these are the major cause. And the carers often neglect their own health, well-being, because they more priority to focus person they care for. This is the what I said from my experience, since we are working since last 8 years with carers, and particularly in working carers of person with mental illness since last 3-4 years. That is the main experience of what I've already said you.
Thank you, Jagannath ji. And can you share what changes you have noticed in the carers you support and in the people they care for? What are the significant changes you were able to notice?
Actually, so there's a lot of changes after our intervention in community level, in particular in tribal dominated areas. Carer have now become more confident and informed and resilient. They are better able to manage their stress and communicate with health professionals regarding their health issues. Earlier, this thing not happened. They think the health issue is not priority for them, for their own. They more priority to so their person who they care for. Uh, and another thing, now they manage their stress properly, and people with mental illness now they is showing interest for their treatments, and more stability in daily routines, reduce stigma within their family and also their community. And in our operational areas, now we work with nearly 1,500 carers and 1,500 person with mental illness. Out of 1,500, actually very recently we have include more 400 person with mental ill and carers. But earlier we have working for 1,100 carers. Out of 1,100 now, 450 person with mental illness is stable. Due to the stable of the person with mental illness, the carers now stress free. They easily move their relatives and go to marketing, go to daily wages, and go, and engage in the agriculture work.
That's great to hear the tangible changes you were able to notice in carers and also cared for individuals. Wonderful to see that impact in such a short period of time.
And Anilji, another important thing, out of 1,500 now, 1,350 person with mental illness under medication, counseling, and other socio-psycho support. And this is this achievement due to the carers only.
Okay, great. That's wonderful to hear that carers play a significant role in terms of caring for their loved ones and reminding them of regular medication, timely food, and their love and care is making a huge difference. And we are so happy that the family and the community is recognizing what carers are playing that vital role. So next, moving on to that, how has Ekta itself been impacted since you started supporting carers?
First of all, if so, I will want to share in one line that carer are now included, which earlier they are excluded. And supporting after our intervention, we strongly feel carers are included in the socially, and so they are also involved in livelihood activity, and also the community family members recognize them. And carers are now they understand the mental health and mental health issues, and and another thing, carers actually when we started any plan for carers or person with mental illness, we from planning process to implementation process, we involve the carers also in the participatory way.
That's great to hear. And it takes a courage to acknowledge that earlier they were not included, they were excluded, but now you realize the importance and the role of carers, and their voices are heard and they are consulted. That makes a huge difference. I mean, they are not there just to care, but they are also human beings like you and me, and their voices are heard and recognized and appreciated. Thanks for sharing that so eloquently.
Anilji, another things, now more than 350 carers include in different livelihood activities, that is kitchen garden, mushroom cultivation, and so livestock management and other petty business also. And 500 plus carer also linked with leverage with the government schemes under MGNRGA and livelihood missions, Odisha livelihood missions, and other other flagship programs also.
Yeah, that's so important that we were able to access government schemes, because we all have the limited resources. We are doing our best to support immediate needs of the carers, but you are making a strong advocacy with the local government, drawing their attention to the needs of the carers, raising awareness, and making those linkages. That's wonderful. And carers are feeling good about it. They are able to earn an income and contribute to the family finances as well. So from your experiences, what types of support help carers manage stress and provide better care?
Actually, we have developed a lot of effective support systems in our program. So the support of carer worldwide also. Actually, the main thing, peer support group systems. We have formed nearly 65 carers groups in our operational village, and 3 block level federation and also 1 district level federations, and the district level federation already registered. And due to these career groups, the carers got the peer support systems from the peers. And another thing, the counseling and training on mental health also. So the another intervention, and respect care opportunity also, livelihood support schemes, and awareness generation at community level through different medium, and this is and also they access government entitlement and rights. And also ICTA initiate state level federations meetings due to this these interventions. Now they recognize from the community and also the government and also other stakeholders. And these are the support system, counseling, regular counseling, and through career groups, we intervene and address the issue of carers and person with mental illness also through the groups, and a group actively taking the issues and try to solve these issues through different way to submit the memorandum to the government from the panchayats to block district level. And these are the support system the carer now recognized, and the carers so benefited from different stakeholders, different departments. And the self-care system also developed. Not only the carer groups not only address their issue, also now the carer groups also address the community issue. They started the community issues address. If the community issue addressed by the carers groups, then the carer issue also ultimately addressed. For example, if the health system is not functioning in well in the community level, if in general, if the carer group pressure build up the pressure to the health department and the health system is running well, then ultimately the carers also benefited.
Thank you, Jagannath ji, and so you have shared that holistic approach and the full support system for carers, what you provide from counseling to peer support, and number of groups you have promoted at different levels, and how each one plays a different role seeking the support to overcome their stress. And also you highlighted the importance of self-care and regular that counseling support. Those are paramount, because quite often we tend to focus on person needing the care, but not on the carers themselves. And also carers feel guilty about talking about their own health and well-being. When my son or my child or a daughter or a husband is the one suffering, what the family members will think, what the community will think about that. So it is important you are creating that space for carers to talk about their own issues and the challenges and how they can overcome their stress. And so we have another 4 minutes, Jagannath ji. I will try and squeeze in another 2 questions, if I may. One is, how have attitude towards carer changed among the community and government officials because of your work?
Actually, there are a lot of changes after our intervention. So in community level also and government officials also. Now, so growing recognition that carers need support, and government members are more empathetic. Sorry, community members are more empathetic towards carers. local officials now acknowledge carers in their program, and government, particular in our district mental health program Unity. Before our intervention, that Unity completely not functioning in the district. Due to our interventions, that Unity activate, and that Unity, all the staffs, professionals, technicians, they actively work for this mental health issues, and they recognize also carers. Through the carers, they organize regular health camps and community follow-up also. This is the change in the attitude of the district Unity. Earlier, they not work properly. This is the major changes in attitude, and carer also allow in the local governance systems, that is called Police Sabha and Gram Sabha. In our community, at village level Police Sabha and the Panchayat level Gram Sabha, the carers also involved in the decision making process at the local governance level also. And now the state level also build up the pressure from different carers groups, and state level state level commission of the person with disability also now strongly feel the concern of the carers and issues, and the department head, director and the commissioner also, the issues share in different platform, the carers issues from government sides also now. This is the great changes in the at least at the government level.
That's fantastic. On that note, Jagannath-ji, really that changes what you are able to see among the government officials as well as in the community. It's great to hear that now the district mental health program is working effectively and carers are seeking the services and the support. So thank you so much. There are so many questions we can ask, but there is at the end, there will be a question and answer session will be there. Please feel free to pop in your question in the chat box, and one of our colleagues will be collating and will be asking. So thank you so much once again, Jagannath-ji, for sharing that such a valuable insights. It's clear how important it is to put carers' mental health at the center of our work, and your experience with Ekta gave us so much to reflect on and apply in our own context. So thank you so much. Back to you,
Thanks,
Chris.
thanks, Anil. And thank you, Jagannath, for that very clear explanation of what it's like on the ground to actually be working in this field.
Thank you.
It was a very rounded and developed explanation of the work. And I'm very grateful for that. And I'm sure the rest of the colleagues today are also grateful for it. Absolutely. Many, many thanks. I see that Marie, who is a carer and volunteer, is giving you a special clap. That's lovely. Yeah. So we are going to move now to you, Michelle. And I think you're going to be showing us a film. Am I right? Is that the correct order?
Yes, it is. So yeah, I just want to introduce this film to you all with a bit of background. So one of the things we do at Carers Worldwide is train unpaid carers to become barefoot counsellors. And this means they're unpaid carers who volunteer to be trained up to provide counselling services to other carers in their own community. So this means that these carers who are getting this support from the barefoot counsellors are receiving counselling from their peers, who really understand what it is they're going through. And as you can imagine, that makes a real difference to them. So what I'd like to share with you now is some insights from Roxana. Roxana is a barefoot counsellor who was trained through our project in Bangladesh with our partner there, Centre for Disability and Development, some of whom are on the call with us today. So yeah, we'll just watch this short video and hear from Roxana what it's like from her perspective.
আমি একজন কেয়ারার না সিডিডির মাধ্যম থেকে আমার এই পরিচয়টা পাওয়া তো আমার এই পরিচয়টা পেয়ে আমি অনেক হ্যাপি আমি অন্যান্য কেয়ারারদের সাথে ফোনে কথা বলি আর আমি তাদের সাথে কথা বলতে পারে মানে এত ভালো লাগে যে আমার কষ্টটা আমি ভুলে যাই যে মানুষের ভিতরে এত কষ্ট থাকতে পারে প্রতিটা ফ্যামিলিতেই যাদের এরকম বাচ্চা আছে আসলে তাদের কষ্ট বোঝার কেউ নেই বা শোনারও কেউ নেই আমি যখন তাদের সাথে কথা বলি তখন তারা তাদের কষ্টগুলো আমার কাছে শেয়ার করে তখন আমি মনে করি যে তাদের হয়তো মানসিক যে পরিবর্তনটা আমি ওইটা বুঝতে পারি যে ওরা অনেক মানসিক পরিবর্তন এই কাউন্সিলিং করার মাধ্যমে আমার যে মানসিক পরিবর্তনটা হচ্ছে যেটা মানে আমি নিজে উপলব্ধি করতে পারতেছি যে আগে যেরকম আমি সব সময় উদ্বিগ্ন থাকতাম এখন আমার এই কাউন্সিলিংটা করার মাধ্যমে আমি অনেকটাই সহজ হয়ে গেছি আমি এটা গুরুত্বপূর্ণ মনে করি কারণ আমি দেখেছি যখন আমি ফোনে তাদের সাথে কাউন্সিলিং করি তাদের দেখে আমি অনেক খুশি হই যে আগে তারা যখন কথা বলতো তাদের মুখ থেকে একটা হাসিও বেরাইতো না এখন কিন্তু তারা হাসতেছে এবং তাদের যে মনের সব দুঃখ কষ্ট আমার সাথে শেয়ার করতেছে এবং তাদের মানসিক অনেকটাই পরিবর্তন আমি বুঝতেছি
Thank you very much indeed for that short film. Again, an important insight. Now, Ruth, should we come to you for a minute? Are you prepared for that?
Sure, Chris, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, we were due now in the programme to have Sarah Jeffrey, who's the head of health at the Vitol Foundation. She was due to join us and give a funder's perspective on including carers into mental health programmes. Now, unfortunately, poor Sarah has been stuck on a train in a tunnel for the last 25 minutes. So she's desperately trying to reach her office and join the call. So we very much hope that she will be able to do that by the end of, like before the end of the session. So I think what we will do now is move into the Q&A session. I think we have a few questions that have popped up and we've been sort of curating those. So if we move into the Q&A session now, we can have a chance for that in the hope that we will get to hear directly from Sarah before the end of the session. So please, if you have any more questions resulting from what you've heard already today, then please do drop them in the chat and we will answer as many of them as we can. Or if you prefer, just raise your hand and we'll find you and you can ask your question directly.
So that's great, thank you. Poor Sarah, imagine being stuck in a train tunnel and thinking that you're supposed to be on a webinar. I know she's highly committed and would certainly be very frustrated at that. Still, even funders have difficulties. So we will move to questions and then we'll go from there. Ertla, I have been looking at some of the questions and I can quite happily jump in on the chat, or would you like to
Please.
outline one or two that seem to be particularly important?
You start, Chris, and I will keep an eye out for and point out other questions that might be coming in.
Okay, that's great. So Craig here, who is a Delage, who is a carer himself, has been making some very interesting contributions as we've gone along. Thank you, Craig, for doing that. And one of the questions that you asked, Craig, was about the tech aspects of this care. Do you want to just enlarge on that very briefly yourself? Please unmute yourself and come in. You'll need to unmute. At the moment, I can see you speaking, but only to yourself.
Okay, there you go. Can you hear me okay?
Very, very well.
Okay,
Yes.
very good. So it's good to be here. So in my own consulting, I focus in the area of digital mental health and how technology is used to aid in this area of caregiving. For many, just about all of us these days have a digital lifestyle. We use mobile apps, smartphones, lots of our televisions have digital capabilities. Um, I'll leave it at that. Not to mention that when we work with doctors in the healthcare system, they're using electronic health records and all this sort of stuff. So I'm always curious to understand how carers are using these technologies as a function of making it easier and more convenient for how they care for their loved ones. Like for instance, using services like Uber Health to make sure that your loved one gets to doctor's appointments, or how they're using it in self-care. Like for instance, how I use an app called Insight Timer to help me with my relaxation, movement, meditation as a part of my own self-care that helps me to then care for my loved one. So anyway, I'm always curious to hear either
Exactly.
individually or institutionally how technology is being used to lighten the burden of caregiving.
Yes, absolutely. Great. Thank you so much for that. Anil, did you want to quickly jump in on that one, or Ruth with one or the other? And then we'll come to Nirmala after that.
Sure, Chris. And quick one is, Craig, thank you for that question. Currently, carers worldwide predominantly works in rural areas of countries like India, Nepal, and Bangladesh. At the moment, all our services are physical. During COVID period, of course, we have used Facebook Messenger platform as well as WhatsApp and others to connect with the carers. But the kind of points you were making, we haven't been able to use. But moving forward, that is something we are thinking about, particularly in urban areas where it is difficult for carers to come together. Whereas in a rural area, it is still challenges with the technology and the internet penetration and all. But that is something we are having conversation with our partners and moving forward, how best we can make use of the technology to connect with carers and support each other. Ruth,
Sure.
do you have any points to make?
I think I'm going to leave it there, Anil. Just I want
Okay.
to Nirmala. We have plenty of people here in the queue. Nirmala, namaste, madam. Would you please like to put on your just unmute yourself? That would be great. Thank
Hi,
you.
Chris.
Hi
Nice
there.
to meet you. Do you recognize me? Are you able to place me?
I am indeed. I can place you in two ways. You're on the screen and you're an old friend. Yeah, there we are.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chris. A
Yeah.
mentor whom I can never forget. You were the almost the time you came to meet us when the mobility, this APD, that's where
Exactly.
we met. And you
where we met.
visited all of us in our house to see how we spend a day. That was a very memorable event for us, because that made me realize there is something special about my role other than just being a mother. Somebody is visiting to see how we spend a day, something taken for granted. And that's how I think we cannot take this role for granted. That is one thing. It was a self-realization, and that, thanks to you, made me spearhead the movement to the extent possible. So one interesting question somebody asked about technology. So let me respond to that, what we are doing. Of course, the profile of the people we are working with is urban middle class. But we are not working with families as such, because ours is an advocacy initiative. It is not service model at all. We work for advocacy for the rights of persons with disabilities under the legislation, under the laws of the land, as a means to empower carers to provide quality care. So we find this a very important method of approaching the government, because the government is also very happy to see that somebody is there out there to partner with them to implement these rights. It's easy for the rights to be written and passed by the legislation, but to implement that, because implementation of rights is a social challenge. It's not a legal challenge or a legal. So one of the things which the previous person asked is about technology. What we found is it is important for all the carers perhaps, but especially the professional middle class, because urbanization is increasing the world over. And it's a rate of, in fact, in India, it is growing at a more rapid rate than what was thought of.
Yeah.
So we are looking at the various family patterns that is there, and we realize that a family needs handholding almost on a daily basis rather than just a crisis. And that is one of the things. Now, given the fact that how can the doctors reach the families on a daily basis? So we have designed a software called eKutum, which is able to filter. eKutum is an app.
Yes.
And it's an app, the software works around to help the doctors filter the families which cannot reach the DMHP centers, what Anil was talking.
Now,
Because
Nirmala, that's really useful to know. And what I want you to do, if you would be kind enough, is to put your email in the chat. Because I know that Craig at least will want to drop you a line to find out more.
I'll be happy to do that.
Yes, and other people will as well. Thank you
Yes.
so much for. I'm going
I have
to.
another question. Why do you choose the word carer
I'm just
and
going to
not
leave it.
caregiver?
I'm just going to leave it for a minute because I have other people I need to bring in.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, thank you, Nirmala, and lovely to meet up with you again. And thank you for your.
Same here. Thank you, Chris. And I hope we go forward with some more work, joining to work together.
Absolutely, absolutely. So
thank you, Anil.
I just wanted to point out to viewers that and our audience here that we've had quite a lot of interesting remarks coming through. And the one thing I want to just to recognize, which I think is very important, is the number of people who have actually put the work that they're doing in the chat. Do we have a newsletter, Ruth, that they can have, or Anil? Very quick answer to that would be helpful.
Yes, we do. Michelle has dropped the link to signing up to the newsletter. She's dropped that link in the chat, but she can drop it in again now, because obviously there have been lots of conversations going on in the chat in the meantime. So we will drop the link to the newsletter back into the chat now. Thank you.
Okay, that's great. And then Melen Marucha is asking, I would love to hear how other projects manage to involve or engage male carers, because as we have seen and understood very well, quite a lot of the people involved are women, and that, of course, is an issue in its own right. This is Melen from Sense International, Kenya. Sense International, of course, is a very well-known organization dealing with, in brief terms, deafness and blindness in the same individual. What about the whole question of male carers, Anil?
That's a very good question, Chris, and thank you for asking that. And thanks to Sense International Kenya, and also Uganda also asked the same question. Men particularly face additional challenges in our work. Majority of carers are women. 84% of carers are women. In some countries, it goes up to 97%. Having said that, we do have men who are caring for their loved one. Because of the stigma and the lack of awareness, men tend to not to come forward to even to talk about it. So in fact, we had one specific, not men only group, but mixed groups are there, where they are able to talk openly about their difficulty, challenges they're facing, and how this carers group is enabling them to share their experiences and also about the issues they are facing, and how these support network played an important role in terms of overcoming their stress, anxiety, and related health issues.
Yeah, I thought that Ganeshwar Chowdhury made a very interesting point. He said here, up to a great extent, culture, traditional mode of living, language, and dialects are important determinants for mode of communication in caregiving. Would you agree with that, Daniel?
Yes, Chris, absolutely. Yeah.
That's great. And then Ertla, let's get another question going here. Please put up your hands if you would prefer to go in that direction.
Looking through the different questions we have, I know we have quite a few comments as well. I asked a question about culture, so if it's okay, if I can jump in and maybe, I'm not sure I worded it well enough in the chat, but a lot of my work was in China, where if the family was very important, and if you were working on an intervention, for a mental health intervention, it was very important to involve the whole family, whereas in certain cultures might be more individualistic, or even in a certain different context, where I was working more with students, also in China, but where often they wanted maybe more distance from their carers, and they wanted some of that to have some anonymity, what's the word, to be anonymous. Sometimes they not always have to share everything with their carer, but I'm just sort of wondering in your work how you find culture, what role that plays. I know you work in different countries and in different contexts.
That's a very good question, Arla. Culture plays a significant role. Again, these are unwritten rules, like generally in the South Asia where we are working, when the caring comes, naturally everybody thinks about, oh, it's a woman's role. So women tend to take up that role. If whether somebody has asked, would you like to be a carer? I doubt anybody has asked. Naturally, they think that it is woman's role. And of course, because of lack of awareness and about this invisible role they are playing, and that is having a significant impact on carers' health and well-being. And also carers feel guilty about talking about themselves. Of course, if it is a short period of care, we all do. But long-term care is having some of the conditions you are talking about in mental health. It is a long-term care. So, and stigma associated with the illness has a significant impact on that. Jagannath-ji, would you like to share about the culture in Odisha briefly?
Yeah, actually, in Odisha, there's a lot of strong stigma around the mental health issues, and discrimination also, fear, and the gender. Actually, the women already in general already so vulnerable and excluded, and the most of the carers in our area is 90% above carers are women, and the carers of women carers always neglected and more vulnerable. And in community, there's a different type of cultural practice also. They hide the mental ill person in community also. And at family level also, there is a lot of issues And we have seen in community there is one adolescent girl care three persons in their families, they alone. This type of issues government level so they not address this type of issues in government level also. And there is a lot of cultural barriers not actually still there is a lot of issues community also not aware among the issue of the carers also, because of
Thank,
there is different types of practices in community, particular stigma, discrimination, and so gender discrimination also,
Thank
because
you, Jagannath. Thank you, Jagannath. I'm just about to bring in a couple more questions, if I may, Anil, just before we finish. We're coming up to the time when I'm going to be handing over to you, Anil, for key actions, okay? But we have a couple more questions. Thanks, Jagannath ji. Joy, where are you? I saw you on the chat, but I can't see you on my screen. Can you open up your video, your camera if you possibly can? But otherwise, hi Joy, there you are. Joy, just introducing you very briefly, Joy is one of our co-chairs at the Mental Health Collaboration. And Joy, you had a question also. Do you want to just quickly enunciate it for us? Welcome.
Sure. Sure. I just really appreciate all the perspectives, especially from people who are caregivers themselves and working directly with caregivers. And just wanted to see if anybody had any specific tips about how to tailor a mental health program to be able to serve caregivers better. So beyond just kind of general mental health, standard mental health care, how should things be tailored for them? Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. And we have Otieno, you wanted to come in. I saw you have your hand up there. Otieno John Michael. No? Okay. And we have one question I noticed from Moina. There you are. Let me just think. Otieno, do you have a brief question you wanted to ask?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Welcome, welcome.
Okay, thank you. This is Otieno John. I work with Sense International in Uganda. Yeah, so my question is about how is gender-related concerns affect the level of occupational performance of the carriers?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you very much, Otieno. Now, I think we
That is my question.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. I think we probably dealt with that one, Otieno, a little bit earlier when you had written it in the chat. And so we are going to keep it like that. Just to finish off, Marie, did you want to make a comment before we go back to Anil for the last part of the session?
Just to say that I think there's lots of like little groups doing lots of work with carers on, especially with mental health. I know of a really good one in London, for example, Lewisham, that is excellent at tailoring the needs of specifically carers of those with mental health. So I think there's little pockets of things, but the big organisations tend to just cover all conditions like Carers UK. But they do have share and learns on specific issues such as mental health. So if you look at Carers UK pages, there are some little tidbits on specifically mental health, but it's not covered generally because it's all carers.
Yeah, understood. And thank you very much for your attendance. Much appreciated. Okay, so I think that's probably the end of our Q&A for the moment. Anil, you wanted to just in beginning to wrap up, you wanted to ask for a few key actions, and I'm going to hand over to you.
yeah, thank you, Chris. I think Michelle is going to share the slide.
Yep. Perfect.
So from today's conversation, 50 minutes or so, so these are the key actions you can take for unpaid carers. One is you can check in with the unpaid carers of the person you are supporting and ask them just a simple question, how are you? And do you need any help or any support? So that would really makes them feel, oh, they're not just interested in my loved one, but they are interested in my life as well. So that would make a huge. And ask unpaid carers' opinion on how your mental health program should be run, means hearing their voices and having their say on the platform. You can create and consult them and design the program based on the information you receive from carers as well. Also, like as Jagannathji has said, that they were able to connect, promoting 65 carers groups they have connected, and asking carers how they would like to be connected so that they don't feel lonely or isolated. They feel supported, whether they're part of digital platform or physical, those kinds of things. And Jagannathji, again, part of our question and interactive session, he has mentioned that how important it is to understand the need of the carers and how those could be supported, whether it is a health issue or financial issue, or how they can go and approach government officials rather than going on their own, going collectively, so that they are raising the awareness about carers and all. And finally, in your own area or countries, are there any schemes and policies that are already in place for unpaid carers in your country? Make sure the carers are made aware of such schemes. For example, in India, I'm delighted to share Government of Karnataka has enacted last year, and they have increased this year the number of categories caregivers. Carers are going to receive allowances, and recently Delhi government on 17th of September has announced carers allowance. Likewise, in Bangladesh, with the health card is being issued recently, that is a fantastic news. And in Nepal, caregivers assistance support is being provided. So there are so many things are happening. Like whichever part of the world you are connected to, please make sure that there are certain schemes and policies, may not be specific related to carers, but there are generic policies that can be applied to carers. Those schemes can be supported. So back to you, Chris. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much indeed. And Ertla, are you happy for me to pass over to you for the final?
Yes, not much to say. Thank you, Anil. Thank you to all of our speakers today. Really wonderful session, and we will share, as always, the notes and recordings, and if there's any other links maybe that would be useful that have come out of this webinar today. But we have one more webinar for 2025, which will be on safeguarding and mental health, but exact date to be confirmed. So watch out for that. So thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, morning. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Many thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, everyone.